It's just interesting because there's really only a handful of potential layer one solutions for you to partner with. To quote Stanley Kulichev, ETH 2.0 is happening sometime in the next decade, so we can't necessarily wait for that. So I appreciate that you're looking elsewhere, but did you consider things like Cardano or AVAX or any of those other kind of layer ones up there? And did any of those things have potentially something to offer?
Yeah, we looked at Cardano. I mean, the technology was interesting. They're a UTXO based model, so it's more like a Bitcoin style transactions. And while you can embed really cool code in these transactions, this is not an ideal blockchain for NFTs, in my opinion. When you're like, we're used to thinking in this sort of human way, where you have an account that's your account, and you're going to keep that account and get NFTs onto that account. That is more intuitive for receiving NFTs and transacting with NFTs, and knowing, this is Vitek's account and this is Brian Rose's account. And so we looked at a lot of blockchains, but we think that really Polkadot is the future for this sort of blockchain. And I mean, recently we saw this pretty bad hack on Cardano recently, a security flaw that now requires everyone to rewrite their smart contracts on Cardano. That's really unfortunate, right? With parachains, it's a bit more decentralized, where every parachain can really be its own entity and develop itself in its own way, solve its security flaws independently.
Also, I'm guessing you started looking at these things 12 months ago or so.
No, we've been looking for a long time. So actually, back in 2018, we saw the gas prices creeping up, and they were only maybe $1 back then or something like that. But we started thinking about how this is going to scale, because $1 is already too expensive. So the first thing I did is we went and hired a bunch of PhDs from Europe, and we started working on state channels. So sort of like Lightning Network. Or write-in for Ethereum, and we started trying to see, can we scale this using state channels? This means a lot of people can kind of do transactions between each other, and you only put the end result of those transactions on the blockchain. So you can do 1,000 transactions between a group of people inside a game, put the end result on the blockchain. But we realized that is not enough. We don't just need scaling. We need basically interconnectedness with all the blockchains, right? And to do that on a state channel system was not good. So Polkadot, the thing that I love is the cross-chain compatibility, the interoperability. So we want to actually invite anyone on Ethereum to bring their ERC-721 tokens in, bring their ERC-1155s, bring all their games onto Affinity and back out, and go to Binance Smart Chain, go to Tron, go to whatever blockchain you want to use, right? Have it an open world. And I think Polkadot and the projects on there are trying to do that. Moonbeam is doing, Ethereum virtual machine on Polkadot. And there's, Snowfork is building bridges to Ethereum. And we're going to invite all other blockchains to build bridges into Polkadot.
Nice. Yeah, all my students are asking for all those cross-chain bridges, and I'm telling them they're coming. So I'll quote you as well. What do you make of these layer one wars? I mean, it's really heated up in the last 6 months. Obviously, Cardano finally launched their smart contract. Obviously, the parachain auctions happened. AVAX is coming up and, signing deals with companies like Deloitte and Touche and MasterCard. Terra Luna isn't too shabby. I've had Silvio Mercalli of Algorand on here. And I always joke, you're running out of Ethereum co-founders at some point. There's not many left. I would be hard pressed if there are many other candidates that will be a layer one solution. What do you make of all that? What do you see that maybe we don't see?
Well, it's interesting, right? Yeah, the thing I like is it's not just like the old days, just clones of Bitcoin, like, Litecoin, slightly different, algorithm. It's actually, they're trying to do blockchain in unique ways, which is good. That those blockchains will all find their purpose, their niche that works, they work perfectly in. So Cardano, Solana, Ethereum, Polkadot, and all the other layer ones, they're all going to find a really good use case, because they're introducing interesting technology into the world. But the thing that I find interesting is that there's also this sort of war of land grabs where, there's these mega partnerships worth, hundreds of millions of dollars being formed where, you have sports leagues and you have major brands, siding with one blockchain or another. And a lot of the time, these are sort of paid deals where, they have to put a lot of capital in, get the brand name behind them. So it's kind of pay to play in a way. And it's interesting to see that. I'm hoping that the technology and, the network that forms with people is going to be, key to this. But I think, a lot of these blockchains will need to do these land grabs.
Yeah, it's fascinating right now to watch. Why not make the engine layer one? That seems to be the business model du jour. Did you think about that?
Well, we're doing it sort of with Efinity. So Efinity is a parachain, and it's almost like a layer one, because I think of Polkadot as a layer zero, where it's sort of, a relay chain. It's handling the security, but all the parachains are really the layer ones. And so the roadmap for Polkadot in the future, from what we're seeing, is that, as we bring on large games that have millions, tens of millions of people, you don't want to put all that data directly onto the Efinity parachain. So we're going to have parachains that have offshoot parachains on them. So, maybe you have Call of Duty having its own parachain because it has so many transactions and so many users. You have some large MMO game with tens of millions of people having its own parachain, so that they don't flood the main network. And I think that in the next couple of years, that's the way that the Polkadot network will evolve as well.